Okay. Do it.
Hi, welcome back to Family Unfit, where we talk fitness and how to integrate it in your busy lifestyle. So, today we got for you guys another meal. This is Poverty Meal Prep 002 of 2019. We do have other poverty meal preps out there, but the quality is kind of garbage. And this is the new year, so it's time for new content, new meals. We're going to go ahead and do this thing with more effort and get you meals that are going to help you be able to lose weight and be able to gain some lean muscle. I'm going to have Ashley go ahead and go over all the ingredients that we got here and let you guys know what we're making today.
So we're going to make spaghetti today with a little bit of a twist.
And we're also going to show you guys how to get rid of the fats in the beef so that way you can buy the poverty meat. I actually did get 85% lean, which is a little bit less poverty, but the reason why I did that is because it was on sale, and that's the poverty thing to do is when you see lean meat on sale, you grab it. It was literally like the same price or even cheaper than the regular ground beef, so I went with it, and I think it was about to expire or something. I don't know. I'm not going to ask no questions. It was cheaper. I'm going with it. But Ashley's going to go ahead and go over the ingredients and kind of give you all an idea of what we got going on here.
So we got squash, spaghetti squash, hamburger meat, baby bell mushrooms, and 2 onions. So I'm going to go over the calorie counts of what ingredients I have here. Spaghetti squash for 2 of them is 62 calories. The ground beef, the 85% ground beef is 1,302 calories. The 2 onions is 150, and the baby bell mushrooms are 240 for all 3. But on the spaghetti squash, this is what saves the meal. It's like 62 calories for 2 squashes. Man, you can't beat that.
Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and cut these things real quick, get them in the oven, and you want to do that because it's going to take a super long time to cook those. These are going to take about an hour to cook, and I'll update you with the temperatures that you're going to need in just a second. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we Chinese chop those things, got these things chopped up. Now these things are a lot like a pumpkin inside. They actually kind of smell like it whenever they're not cooked. Smell just like a pumpkin. So what you got to do is you got to dig this stuff out of the center here, which we're about to do. And then what else are we gonna do? We gotta do with it. Oh, we're gonna throw some salt and pepper on it. Some other ingredient, some other recipes will call for you to add olive oil. If you're in a bulk, you may want to do that. But if you're in a cut, I wouldn't add any extra olive oil just because you don't add any extra calories to your meals if you don't have to. You're obviously in there. Can you not fucking see? So yeah, like I was saying, we're gonna go ahead and throw some seasoning in these things. Get these things in the oven because they're gonna take like an hour long to cook. Then we're gonna go ahead and cook the rest of the food while that's in the oven. Hopefully the spaghetti squash will get done right about the same time. And we also got a tip to show you how to drain the fats. And not just drain the fats, because there's more to it than just draining the fats. To be able to get the lowest amount of calories and the highest amount of protein content out of the meat as possible. Especially if you can only afford like 70% lean. This is definitely 110% the way to go. So I'll catch y'all here in a second. Alright guys. Alright, so as you can see here, I don't know if you can see here, but look, if you look right there, we went ahead and seasoned them things up, got them dug out. Let me show you one of these, give you a close-up of what one of these looks like. Alright, so we got it cleaned out pretty well. You can't see any of that stuff in there anymore. We grabbed that, babe, and show them what we got, what we pulled out of there.
Pumpkin seeds.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost exactly like the consistency of the inside of a pumpkin.
Yeah.
And the seeds are pretty much the exact same, taste the same and everything. Pretty crazy. But whenever it's cooked, the spaghetti squash won't taste anything like pumpkin.
And what? These are 200 and what calories?
Oh yeah, if you want to eat the inside of that, like if you want to bake it, it said that the seeds inside of the spaghetti squash,
I think it's 210.
It's like, I think it was 280.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it's like 280 calories for all the seeds within a spaghetti squash, which makes sense because seeds generally carry a lot of fat, which means they're dense in calories. We're gonna go ahead and toss this thing in the oven real quick.
Not this. When you're cooking spaghetti squash, You're supposed to cook it on 375 for 45 minutes to an hour with the spaghetti squash face down. Ass up. I'm just kidding.
Alright, so we're going to put some Mountain Dew in it. Just kidding. But a few things that I want to go ahead and mention is that, one, when we're seasoning these things, we want to season them differently. So, for example, the spaghetti squash, we ended up putting garlic powder, salt, and pepper on. Now, this one right here, we're going to use this Greek seasoning. I want to use like a Greek, Italian seasoning, something that's going to give it kind of that spaghetti type of feel. And since spaghetti is an Italian type of food, I'd like to use some type of Italian seasoning, but in this case, we're going to go ahead and use this Greek seasoning. Really like it. I use it on a lot of different meats. I use it on eggs. Use it on a bunch of different stuff. I think I'm going to use a little bit of this Montreal steak just because I want to use some of it up. Just get it out of the house. I'm trying to consolidate all these different seasonings we have up here just because we have like way too many. A lot of them we don't even use. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and chop up the mushrooms, chop up the onions, and go ahead and throw this meat in here in the skillet. Alright, so one pro tip that I always suggest that people do is put all these seasonings in it, then pre-mash it with your hands, then throw it in the skillet and break it apart some more as you're cooking it. But you want to go ahead and mash this up and mix all the seasonings in there so that way there's actually seasoning within inside the meat. If not, you'll just have like an outside layer of seasoning, and internally, like, the meat won't have any type of succulent flavor. And you got to have that succulent flavor because that's what makes you get past the cut, is being able to have some satiating foods that make you really feel good about your whole entire diet. Alright, it's time to go ahead and take this meat, this poverty meat here, shred it down of as much fat as we possibly can. So let's go ahead and run over here real quick, take this to the sink. You want to get yourself a strainer. You want to dump all the meat in the sink so that way you can't have any of it. Alright, so the two things that are so important about this is that, one, you want your meat still to be hot because you want that grease to still be liquefied. And the second thing is you want boiling hot water to be able to pour onto the meat. That way it liquefies the fats even more. One other thing that you can do, and you can do this with almost any food that has a lot of fat or grease on it, is you can throw it on some paper towels and you can push on it and squeeze out any more fats. Now, the only thing that sucks about that is you are going to take away some of the flavor, some of the juices, and it may be a little bit dry. But we're going to go ahead and re-season this. That way it has a decent flavor to it. Now I'm going to go ahead and just throw this right into our onion and mushroom mix. Just because I don't want to throw this back in the pan that had the grease in it. Alright guys, so we went ahead and pulled the spaghetti squash out of the oven. Now I want y'all to check something out real quick. as you can see there, that is why this thing here is called spaghetti squash, is because has a spaghetti-like fibers to it. Now you want to watch out and not overcook it. I'm not doing anything here, dude. So you want to make sure that you don't overcook this. You want it to cook it to whatever consistency you like, but you kind of want it to be a little bit crunchy and have that kind of like noodly consistency, because this is something that if you overcook it, it'll become mushy and just basically be garbage and not taste good. So we're going to go ahead and finish up what we're doing here, and we're going to show you guys the final product.
Okay, so we just pulled this baby. We just pulled this spaghetti squash out of the oven. And what we did something different with it. We end up putting the meat, the mushrooms, and the onions inside of the spaghetti squash. For the sauce that's on it, we used 1/2 cup, 1 serving, which is 1/2 cup, and it's 45 calories. And then and guys, don't forget to check the calories on them, because sometimes there's a lot in the aisle, and you could pick up one that's higher in calories and be like, whoa, oh my gosh. So you need to make sure you're watching the calories on it. Half the calories of the other spaghetti sauces that was in the aisle, so I choose to pick this one, which is the best one I've seen. Then the Parmesan cheese, it's just on there for decorations, but we use 2 servings, which is 20 calories each. And here is the finished product.
I'm going to do a B-roll sequence too. Try my
best. Doesn't it look so yummy? I want to eat it right now, but it's kind of out of my calories. Okay. This meal right here is going to be 8 servings. And the way we're going to go about that is we're going to cut them in half. And it's 219 calories each. Oh, and for the protein on this meal is 17.9 grams. 33% protein.
Okay. So just to clarify, guys, we're taking this meal right here. We're taking each one of these spaghetti squashes, cutting each one of them in half, individually Tupperware each half of one of these, so that way it's meal prepped and ready to go for the next day. Now we'll use something like this little Tupperware here. The calories are already counted, so we'll just take this half, bloop, put that half in there. Now when we're saying half, we're saying we still got to cut this in half. So this one piece right here will be 2 pieces. And I just want to clarify that, so that way somebody's not eating one of these and like, you know, there's people out there that just don't get it. You may get it, but there's people out there that don't get it, and I want to make sure everybody gets it, because I don't want you to be one of those people that says, I don't get why I'm not losing fat. I'm counting all my calories right, and you're eating double what you think you're eating. So let's not make those mistakes, guys. Let's do this. Let's stay on top of this thing. And I'm going to do my best. If it's not already down in the description below, I'm going to do a Google Doc of all the macros of this, ingredients of this, and I'm going to make it so that it's readable for you guys. You can share it with people. And I'm going to try to do that with all the poverty meal preps. We're so limited on time right now, so I can't guarantee it, and I can't promise it that it'll be up when the video's up, but I'm going to do my best to get that posted for you guys. That way, y'all have something you can use on your phone to reference this meal and not have to necessarily find my video every time you want to make this meal. Because you know you don't want to look at my face every time you want to make a meal. Like, just people don't want to do that. Right? Right. So guys, if you want to see more meals like this, more poverty meal preps, make sure you're hitting that subular button and giving us a thumbsy up, because we really need the help, guys, and we love seeing those numbers grow. We love seeing that we're helping more and more people every day. It's just, that's why I originally started doing this thing, is because I just wanted to reach people. Whenever it clicked in my head that fitness is way simpler than the fitness industry tries to make it out to be, I just knew that's what I needed to do. I needed to simplify this thing give you all that information, so that way y'all don't have to spend hours and hours and hours of researching fitness content like I had to do. So I'll catch y'all on the next one.